besar sudah mereka. Ditambah lagi, kita tahu bahwa lawan mereka hari ini, lawan yang sedang mendapatkan momentumnya ada Alter Ego. Dan jika Alter Ego mendapatkan kemenangan hari ini, mereka akan mempersulit tim-tim yang sedang berada di zona merah. Kesempatan untuk EVOS dan juga Dewa United akan semakin menipis jika mereka memenangkan match hari ini. Dan kalau kita ngebahas tentang kedua tim ini, kita udah ngelihat bagaimana pertemuan dari dua sobat yang akan kembali bertemu untuk melanjutkan pertarungan mereka sebelumnya. Sebelum kita melihat bagaimana pertarungan ini akan berlangsung, terlihat sudah semakin panas juga yang ada di MPL Arena. Yang ada di rumah juga Bude yakin udah gak sabar. Namun Bude juga mau mengingatkan bahwa MPL Indonesia Season 15 powered by Moonton, supported by PBSI, presented by Official Tournament Smartphone, Samsung Galaxy, Official e-wallet GoPay, Official Sponsor Head and Shoulder, Official dari Coffee Partner Good Day. Dan kita juga punya partner ini sports, ada Telkomsel, Dunia Games, dan IndiHome. Bersama dengan advertiser, Kacang Sukro, dan Hokben. Tak lupa supplier kita RSV Helmet. Dan match pembukaan hari ini di hari Jumat, hari yang pertama minggu yang ke-8, bisa jadi menjadi tiket kedua. Namun itu tidak akan mudah. Semuanya masih butuh kemenangan karena 5 tiket saja harus diperebutkan oleh 7 tim yang sedang berjuang. Mereka harus benar-benar bisa mengerahkan segalanya detik-detik akhir untuk menuju babak playoff. Playoff sudah di depan mata. Bagaimana mereka akan saling menatap? Mari kita sambut, inilah dia, tim Liquid ID dan juga Alter Ego!
The curtains are closing, the road to playoffs and to the Velodrome is wide open, but for some teams, it is time to stop them from sinking. Welcome to MPL ID Season 15, week number 8, day number 1. With me, Realize, and the red hair man, Mirko, and Arashi.
Black hair man.
Mr. M-Watch man. Yeah, I guess.
M-Watch man.
M-Watch man.
But he was M-Watch man last week though.
Well, we have, interchangeable mans in the M-Watch. How are you guys feeling? Heading to week 8, possibly the last 2 weeks we have in MPL ID Season 15.
I'm feeling tense personally, right? Because my team, both our teams actually, Realize have not made it to the playoffs just yet. The only team that is qualified to playoffs right now is the M-Watch man's team, RSU Hoshi, being the first one, and right now the only team to qualify for playoffs. So technically there's still a chance for TL all the way to Onyx at 6. Oh wait, who's at 6? Is it Onyx?
No, Alter Ego.
Alter Ego to not make it. So there's going to be criteria later on, but yeah, feeling very tense.
Yeah, this is the season, or the week, where, KB, over in the Indonesian desk, starts uploading videos of the probabilities of the teams that are going to advance. But of course, in today's schedule, we have TLID coming up against Alter Ego and Bigatron up against Dewa, in which Bigatron, they come in with new colors, but that is to be confirmed later on.
Yeah, we can talk about more on that later. Yeah. But honestly, this is a rough one, honestly, for any team, right? With the playoff chances getting more and more relevant, especially for Alter Ego and Dewa right now. Being the underdogs in the matchups, that's definitely a big concern. Look at the standings, as we discussed earlier, our Hoshi is the only one that has secured a spot right now. Everyone else is still battling it out, except for Navi. But Dewa United definitely close behind, and they're definitely desperate to try and get something, get some momentum, get something going for themselves.
Correction, it's Onyx number 6, Alter Ego number 5. So even the Sky Kings are still yet to maintain their position on towards the playoffs. Navi, it's a name forgotten in time. So I think they have to reset for next season. Maybe start, like I said, promoting maybe new players or just trying out new things. Cars and Rome, we said it, like maybe they're just preparing cars for next season, or I don't know, maybe Navi has other plans, but enough about Navi. We're going to talk about TLID against Alter Ego today, both battling it out for a position in the playoffs. Honest topic voting though, defeat in the first leg, how can Alter Ego block TLID's road to secure playoffs? A, press TLID in the early game. B, bring an assassin duel draft. Or C, limit Aran's comfort heroes. Bringing an assassin duel, that's pretty nice. I mean, Rin and Fabian are both very, very excellent in the assassin.
Definitely. I think this is where we bring up the question, more so of, obviously the audience topic voting, but more so on the gold lane problem, because we have been seeing a lot on social media recently. Highs has been demoted from MPL to MDL, and the man who's been promoted last week, Arfi, seems to be the main guy in the gold lane now for Alter Ego. Now changing things like this in week 8 is a drastic move. We've seen EVOS do it with Airline Brands. We've seen a couple of teams try to swap in rosters. Hey, even Navi actually are swapping another XP lane in from MDL. And the pattern is currently teams who still haven't found their main 5 are not performing as well. This team has.
Yep, TLID, they were struggling in the first half of the regular season, but they are just 1 win away from securing a spot in the playoffs.
Which is kind of interesting as well, because initially, Team Liquid ID were also experimenting, switching between Aaron Shiki and Kyo. But now they're back to Aaron Shiki, they're back to a consistent lineup, and they really seem to be doing much better. So that's a bit of a topic I was trying to breach as well earlier. When we talk about the jungle matchup, assassin duel. Yeah, that's possible, but when the assassins are evenly matched, it comes down to the team, right? An assassin, two assassins, if they're evenly matched here, if there's a difference in the roaming department, that's immediately a whole different game, dude. If you're trying to play an assassin against someone who's trying to catch you and is really good at finding the timing, finding those moments, that's a tough order, man. So I feel like even though they are highlighted players here, it really has to be a bit more of a team effort, just because the fact that the jungler position is just so relevant to all the other lanes. They roam around, they set up for the neutral objectives, and neutral objectives is a whole team effort.
Yeah, and of course, back to the audience topic voting. Speaking of assassins, no, the audience think
Early
that
game.
we don't need to bring it to an assassin duel draft. It's about TLID being pressed in the early game.
I like it. I like the fact that this was the main choice for you guys back at home, because I agree with it. Pressing TLID. It's not really just about pressing TLID. It's not like TLID have a weak early game. It's more so Alter Ego have a phenomenal early game. They have only won matches in games where they've taken control of the early game, where they go for a very one-dimensional early game draft, but they are always able to execute that early game draft really, really well. This is a team, again, known for kind of winning early or not winning at all. That's it. Like, that's the bottom line for Alter Ego right now. With Arfi, it's a safer transition from early to mid.
Yeah, we talked about how maybe Highs was showing potential to change. It was going to a better position, I would say. Ghani's GOAT, by the way, now being replaced by Arfi. This is, however, a friendly rivalry, I would say, because Aronchiki himself admitted that Arfi is one of his, mentors, is one of his idols, I would say, because they were in the same team in Alpha 8, divided to two teams, Team 1 and Team 2. Arfi and Aronchiki were both the goal laners of Alpha 8. So how do you think will Arfi fare up against Aronchiki?
I mean, looking at the stats here, Arfi definitely is the best. Just kidding, guys. It's because of the calculations here. Arfi obviously doesn't have the same game amount as Aronchiki. I feel like there's potential, as always. We're no strangers here in NPLID to seeing, rookies pop out of nowhere from not even MDL sometimes. So from MDL, it's a bit more consistent. I think a lot of people still remember Chidera when he showed up out of nowhere, literally,
gold laner,
and just took over, man. So if he is back here, if he is replacing Ghani's GOAT Highs, right? The highs and the lows.
Ghani's GOAT.
There has to be a reason. And honestly, if he wants to be accepted by the talents, the players, the fan base, whoever, right?
Whoa!
He needs to make a big statement right here, right now. What was that?
That was Aronchiki calling Codelwin to ask him to play Arfi, because in an interview backstage with Eterna, Aronchiki was like, yeah, Codelwin, please, just let Arfi play. I want to face him because he's an old friend of mine. But speaking of Arfi, obviously, Aronchiki said it himself, Arfi deserves to be in MPL. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Deserves.
We've seen him play only a few games here and there. Again, he's only played 1 week of MPL because he was just promoted last week. So we'll have to see how deep his hero pool is, how good he can be consistently, if he is even consistent. Because in MDL, he's very, very consistent. He's actually topping the charts when it comes to statistics as an MDL player. But we all know that the stage in MPL is a completely different stage. It's a complete different game from MDL. A lot of players, well, Chapal was #1 in almost everything last season, but Navi has failed to perform. So for Arfi, it's time to prove your worth here, because he's up against the rookie. He's up against the rookie who won in his first season.
That's true. Also, an M-Series appearance in the finals on his first season. Many has tried, but not a lot has succeeded as well. We talked about Gogun as well, being from MDL to MPL, Rookie of the Season for last 2 seasons. But of course, it is now time to look at the lineups for both teams. Alter Ego Esports, it's Nino, obviously, Rin, Hijume Dreams, and Arfi. Subbing in, or rather filling in for Highs.
Coming in with a new option here against a team that's doing so well. Can they stop Team Liquid ID's momentum? Can they get a better position for themselves in the standings? This week, folks, it's going to be important.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 3 face masks, they need to qualify to playoffs. Currently standing at 7 match victories. 2 will send them all the way to the international Jakarta Velodrome. It's Alter Ego!
Alter Ego, will they go? Or will they be gone? Because they need to get a win here to secure themselves the chance to continue their playoffs contention. For TLID, they want it as much as Alter Ego does.
Yeah, that's a big question right here. Looking at Team Liquid ID right now, Aran, Fabian, Yeheskia, Witty, and Aronchiki. Good old Team Liquid ID. Yep. Are they gonna bring back the good old performance?
Same 5.
The defending champions of MPL Indonesia. If Alter Ego need to, TL are just a step away from securing playoffs. Charging onto the scene, needing 1 more match victory. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Young Stallions, Team Liquid ID.
The Cavalry 1 win away from punching their tickets towards the playoffs. The Velodrome awaits them. Where last season, or 2 seasons ago, in the Velodrome, they fell short But this time, can they change things around?
Exactly. Can they bring it back? Can they turn back the clock to their prime days? Is what some people would ask. But now, the brains behind the entire operation, Coach De Lucas and Zephyr with the analyst, Facehugger, and NFR.
And Nafari, obviously a lot of people has been saying that Nafari is in the back, mostly drafting for Ultra Ego, because we talked about how the new coaches coming in, Avio, Zephyr, these coaches are still, I would say, also learning at the same time on trying to adapt to the drafts in MPLID. So obviously they need feedback coming in from the more experienced coaches, such as, you know, Rect for Ultra Ego, for Nafari as well. So Zephyr still has that time to adjust, but obviously the Assassin Shinobi duel, Jonin versus Missing Nin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back home. Missing Nin refers to ninjas who have left their village, who are rogues, basically. Oh man, this is definitely an interesting one. Fabian has been there, has a reputation, has been delivering, and the upcoming Missing Nin here, the upstart, trying to overthrow the balance, trying to claim glory for himself.
Speaking about Rogue though, this has been the criticism towards Rin.
Yeah.
Yes, he is very skilled, he is highly mechanical, but Rogue is in his name. Sometimes he doesn't really follow the calls, he just goes in straight away, gives himself up. If he can get 2 or 3 kills, that is totally fine. But for most of the times, that's not the case.
Yeah, that's his Missing Nin playstyle, I would say. Again, he relies heavily on instinct. He doesn't really care about the culture. He doesn't really care about, you know, the structure in his own team, shot calling and yada yada. He does his own thing when he feels like it, when it feels right. And so far, when the team actually follows through with his early aggression, they do really well. This has been one of the big factors as to how Ultra Ego have gotten the 7-match wins that they've got. And now with RP in, to highlight even more, to emphasize on the point I made earlier, this guy helps Ultra Ego transitions from early to mid smoother. Why? Because he's more consistent. Highs, he's more of the highs and lows. We've spoken about that. When he does make a big play, the game ends below the 12-minute mark. But a lot of times, that big play can be a big mistake, and the team will have to dig deep for late game.
I'd say, you know, we could put 2 and 2 together, but before that, obviously, Arashi, he's the victory.
By the Samsung Galaxy S25 series, anticipate the Leo Mort plus support combo. We've seen it come through before, and it is devastating in the right hands. And along with that, the long-range heroes are highly valuable this match. Yeheskiel, the Ghost of Jakarta, is great when it comes to the distance management, to bursting down opponents from far, far away. Especially with Assassins in the picture, picking up the right long-range option can be a very critical factor in this matchup. For Ultra Ego though, keep an eye on Aaron Shiki. He's starting to heat up. He's turning on. Is he Aaron Shiki or is he Air off Shiki? We'll have to wait and see. But maintain the tempo and the map control over Team Liquid ID. Because again, tempo is something that Team Liquid ID can use really well. Map control even more. We've been speaking about Witty and how his pickoff style is what is allowing Team Liquid ID so much more success right now in the second half of the tournament. If Ultra Ego can take the control away, the vision away, then Witty is going to be severely limited when it comes to options on finding those pickoffs.
Yeah, a few concerns obviously towards Ultra Ego is the fact that sometimes their macro play is kind of weak sometimes because they always rely on that killer instinct that they had in Rin, they had in Highs, and obviously Hijume as well, the setter for Ultra Ego. This guy makes plays happen for Ultra Ego. The playmaker, basically, Luka Modric for Ultra Ego. For TLID, it's always them consistently getting the map control because they have Witty, always opening up spaces for this team. Yeheskiel as well. You know, a control mage basically, a mid laner that always knows priorities in the Land of Dawn. So, my question would be, if Highs is down, do you think that Killer Instinct and Ultra Ego will just, you know, totally be shut down because they now have one less member that has the, you know, satiety to go for insane kills in Heights?
I feel like it's a good balance for Ultra Ego because usually you want that killer instinct. When we say killer instinct and you know, the guts, the creativity to really go for these crazy plays, it's always, I think it has always been a lot more impactful in the jungle position because you get started a lot earlier and there is more urgency to do something in the early game. Whereas for the gold lane, you know, we talk about being safe, usually being the focus. Now there have been exceptions to this rule. Aaron Shiki himself, back when you know, when Team Liquid ID won MPL, dude, he was playing crazy in the gold lane. He was bringing in crazy picks as well in the gold lane, so it still can work. But if your team is too aggressive and you need some kind of control in the mid to late game, I feel like switching up your crazy gold laner to someone a bit more moderate can be the great move here to really bring things back, dial it down.
Indeed, stability versus satiety. But now, of course, the drafting phase we go, presented by the official tournament smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S25 series. 3 bans straight away from Ultra Ego. 2 strong picks, a Fabian's Choice, the Fanny, and the Hayabusa, and the Harith to boot as well. To shut down Aaron Shiki from a potential strong pick for TLID. They take out the Luo Yi, again, a playmaking mage for Hijume to use. The chip as well has been very, very trusty for Dreams to open up the map and control tempo, like you said, in the KTVs. Last ban for TLID goes to the Kalea.
Interesting here. Is this a sign that Team Liquid ID are concerned about the macro? Or is this just a sign that Team Liquid ID understands that for Alter Ego, you're gonna go front to back, we can match you in that department, man. We've got aggressive players of our own. Team Liquid ID's team fighting was super well known before. And looking at the picks right now, the Phobias is definitely a concern, but the Kimi, I feel, is an even bigger concern. That's such a flexible pick, and it's still flexed in the position as well. It can go to the gold lane or the mid lane. Now Alter Ego, they have to be at least a bit confused.
Yep, Phobias being first picked by Alter Ego. Does this give away anything, Mirko? Because the Phobias, we don't see it often being first picked.
You know what? I'm not too big of a fan of a first pick Phobias in the past. But what this enables is Alter Ego to snowball early, which has been what we've been talking about when it comes to Alter Ego and their keys to victory and how they can actually press TLID. Having the Phobias, having the Ling, it's great setup to secure neutral objective 1. And I love the fact that they've taken away the Fanny and the Suyo, because those two picks are usually the picks that TLID go for when they want to contest for early game. That, though, however, is going to be a problem if they don't handle it well. The Hilda on the hands of Aran.
Yep.
That's a signature pick. He pioneered. He was the one to display, showed this pick in the playoffs of last season, and it's up against the best possible pick. Hilda versus Ling.
Yeah, again, a point that I was about to make. The Ling will not have a good time against the Hilda. So how does Rin traverse this issue then alongside Alter Ego?
He's gonna need backup, and what's more damning for the Link here, for Rin, is the fact that there is a Kimi in the mid lane for Team Liquid ID. We've seen other mid laners try and contest for the lane control against this Kimi. It has not ended well for any of the current mages in the meta. So if Alter Ego wanted to try and stave off that aggression, get Aran off Rin's back, they gotta try and get something in the mid lane that's gonna give him some breathing room.
Obviously. Now, the band coming in, Moskov again, just shutting down Aaron Shiki. Another power pick of his as well, and that enables him to be omnipresent in the line of Dawn. The Selena taken out, you know, Hijuma and the Selena. Two unique combinations, and TLID. One last band for them to use.
Team Liquid ID here, they have so much early game potential here, but they might be concerned about the tankiness, the card control. No, actually, it's the Varia. Talking about the long range matchup, two very skill shot reliant heroes here taken away from Hijime, and the Cho is what's being looked at by Alter Ego. We talked about this, man. When you're on Assassin, that roaming pick becomes a bit of a problem.
Okay. Juicin gets picked up here. You can really see what TLID are trying to do. They're trying to play with the Kimi, but in a way where it's offense is the best defense. They want to try to fight and force the issue onto Alter Ego before they can dive on Kimi.
Yep. This is the first time we see Joy not being contested.
Yep.
Usually it is very, very often being picked or banned. And for Alter Ego, the answer is the Ling against the Hayabusa. Is that the case, Arashi?
Ling against the Hayabusa? I mean, in theory, the Hayabusa is going to be a bit more difficult to manage here. That's the Yves already. Potentially with the Granger as well. Range being the option that Alter Ego wants to go for. Perhaps they see that there's not a lot of engaged tools for Team Liquid ID just yet, but they can get one right now as the final pick. And not to mention, Clint as well. Strong laner here to try and go up against this Kimi. That's definitely an interesting option. But again, if Team Liquid ID are concerned about engaged tools, I mean, they have the Kimi to engage technically. That's something that a lot of teams haven't really been respecting. The Kimi long-range engage potential. And right here, it could be a pick still available for Riddy to go for a setter if they really want to go for that kind of teamfight angle. And then now they have a threat of going for a full-on teamfight and also for pick-off using the Tushin instead.
I was thinking of probably Matilda to just rack around the Ling, but I don't think that Matilda is enough to set up teamfight for TLID because they don't have hard lock CC just yet. So they will go for the Khalid. Again, with the Raging Sandstorm, will obviously not give the Ling a good time. This Khalid and Hilda will just, I don't know, rampantly shut down the Ling. That's going to be the main objective of both Aran and Widdy.
Yeah, these are two picks that are used individually to try and get in the way of Assassins, of threatening them in the early game. Now there's two of them in the hands of Team Liquid ID, and these are both signature picks for TLID, man. Like Aran on the Hilda, Widdy on the Khalid. We've seen it before. They are absolutely efficient on these picks. You can bet that in the early game at least, Team Liquid ID are gonna be going into that jungle of Alter Ego, man. And honestly, in my opinion, they don't really have a lot to say about the matter.
Yep. And of course, into the land of Dawn we go. Playoffs, both in their sights. TLID, one win will secure them a spot in the Velodrome. Welcome to game number 1 of TLID against Alter Ego.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The fight for a spot in the Jakarta International Velodrome begins here for Alter Ego and TLID. It might be the beginning of the end for one of these teams, to be fair. None of them have secured playoffs, but I like how Alter Ego are already drafting for this game. It's all about that early game.
Yeah, the Clint again. Always a lane bully, but is it enough against the Kimi that is also a lane bully practically?
I think at this point, the Clint is going to be forced to just go for short trades. No one really beats the Kimi in those really long duration trades because, you know, you get just sprayed down by that Kimi. But look at this, though. Good control from Altrigo. They're converging immediately to try and escort Rin in the jungle. Aran and Witty won't be able to find him just about yet. Now it becomes a game in the mid lane, right? Can they get enough pressure to really start the roaming game? Looking at the emblems here by Indie Home. Oh, agility and wilderness blessing for Witty. We've seen this before. It's all about moving around here. But along with that, Sushin going for the tenacity, understanding there's threats, there's danger lurking around the corner from Altrigo. But for Dreams, he's going full tankiness, man. Look, Aran getting chased down right now. Too early.
Just pop in the sprint. You can see by the angle, Fabian with Retribution secures the XP Crab. By the angle for Alter Ego, taking purple buff second. Rin started on orange buff. They really want to fight. They really want to have purple buff up for Turtle 1.
Yeah, obviously Brawl has always been the identity for Alter Ego. Past generations, but now they make it clear. They make it conspicuous to TLID that all they want to do is just fight. Power spikes yet to be hit. But of course, with this draft, that Brawl in this first Turtle will most likely be a possibility.
Turtle's already up. Aran very deep behind enemy lines here. So whether or not Team Liquid ID can get behind the members of Alter Ego, threaten Hijime, one of the main damage tools, main utility tools for the early fights here. Otherwise, with the Hayabusa, with the Kimi, right? If this becomes a prolonged fight, Team Liquid ID can get ahead here. As Witty tries to deny Rin, but won't be able to just yet. This is gonna be a very delayed take from both teams.
It hasn't been a hellish problem, but Aaron Chiki. Wow, almost gets taken down. The Kimi is just on bended knee against this Clint.
Fabian, though, is going to be rotating over. RP
wants
for an angle to go for the kill. He's going to be baited in. Quad Shadow locking him down. RP flicker. Oh! He flickered a bit too early, right as the Shadow kill was popped. But they brought attention away from the Turtle. Rin is taking the purple buff, and now we'll go for Turtle 1. Taken. Alter Ego, objective for kill.
Who won that trade, Arashi?
I think overall,
That would have been a win for Alter Ego had he gotten the kill.
Exactly. It's still somewhat equal here. Alter Ego, they want to have these wins. Like Mirko mentioned, they were planning and setting everything up to really fight and commit in that first Turtle. So for Team Liquid ID, getting the Kimi a kill in the early game, it's still going to be a great result regardless here. Ideally, they will still have the Turtle, but for now, it's still very much equal, that even. But Fabian has really been able to find more opportunities as we take a look at the talent prediction here by the new application GoPay.
Yep, Alter Ego, 3 votes for me, Lim, and Papulong, and the rest of you guys are voting for TLID.
And also, Lim is the only one without glasses.
Hey, hey, don't glass discriminate him.
Hey man, he's no nerd. He's no real nerd.
He's no geek.
Up top though, Aran really already. Oh, goodness! Rin able to get the revitalize of Dreams, now brought back again by the front of pursuit. Aran's gonna be engaged on, but that's gonna be Fabian looking for. It's a stun with Raging Sandstorm, a kill. He's gonna be taken down. It's Rin! He's not gonna get the kill on Aran. The region was too much. Fabian, the usurper, taking Rin down in Dreams. It's a slow and painful death over to the Shinobi, the Jonin, Fabian.
Dull Blade from Alter Ego. They want to brawl, they want to fight. But TLID, this composition, it feels like they're gonna out-sustain the fighting possibilities that Alter Ego are bringing into the table.
Well, just to revitalize can actually match Team Liquid ID in the sustain. The main factor in that fight is that Hijime got pinched, dude. Alter Ego were trying to go in so aggressively that Hijime was stuck. Yehezkiel and Witty came from behind him. And if you're on a Yeve, that is not the way you want the fights to go. He got taken out so early, and just like that, the early game damage potential of Alter Ego just plummeted, dude. And Team Liquid ID absolutely punished them for that. This is not the start that Alter Ego want if they really want to try and get that control.
Obviously, Berserker's Fury ready for Rin. A glowing one as well for Hijime too. Stop the regen because you know how crazy the Hilda and the Khalid might just go. But again, TLID, it seems like they're not enticed to get the turtle. And it's going to be taken away by Rin.
The good old style of TLID. Let's go for trades on the board. Aran will fall, but it's all good because they got a turret up top. She able to escape. Yes, kill. Crimson Beacon out of there. Rin unable to get the Finch Poise on point. And TLID, again, they have traded for the turtle.
Not enough energy for Rin to go in for the execution. But it feels like Hironshiki is just left on an island here. Rudy is close by though to cover for him. And Alter Ego. Would you say they have map control right now because they're so in too deep on towards TLID territory?
Well, you can overextend and get and be deep into your opponent's territory. Can you actually win fights when they break out though? Can they maintain proper control? That's the main question. Because it seems like Alter Ego are getting into Team Liquid ID's jungle, but they don't really have the win conditions when it comes to these fights. But I like what Mirko brought up, man. This is the old age style of Team Liquid ID. Let go of the first couple of neutral objectives for farming efficiency, for dominance, and later on they're gonna punish. Look at Rin, dude. Aran can still really be a threat 1v1. As RP taking a lot of pressure from the members of Team Liquid ID here.
They don't get the kill on Rin, but that's what the Hilda's for. It's for number one, again, disrupting, slowing down how fast Rin can farm on the Ling. Usually the Ling at this point of the game should be able to farm faster than the Hayabusa. With 2 turtles, you would expect at least a level lead for Rin. But because Mr. Aran is just so crazy with it on this Hilda, it's been really tough for Rin to actually scout around to look for rotations. And the other point is, he's been the real bait in most of these team fights. Alter Ego have been putting all their damage, their resources onto Aran, which again, opens up a whole new world for these damage dealers.
That's how you want things to go if you're playing the hill there, dude. You need to be able to be that much of a threat, that much of an annoyance that you can actually force your opponents to use things on you instead of your teammates. So for Team Liquid ID, it is pretty ideal. And Fabian has been split pushing, so he has a bit of a gold advantage. Oh, look at this. Rin already low, half HP.
A bomb taking Rin to half HP. He has to regen. He's going to be caught. Oh, Twitch pulls! Brings him into the raging sandstorm! Rin is able to get the turtle, but now... Oh, no! What an insane 3-man knock! Rin going for more. RP with the gun down. Aran running away. Has the sprint. Will be able to escape. But that's the power. That's the team fighting power of the early game alter ego composition.
Nino might look for more. Aran is stuck. He's gonna be fine, obviously, as a Hilda. Survivability is number one, but Alter Ego, they shut down TLID and the gold lead swings onto their favor. At this point in time, this is where Rin will get more space to farm, but 1v1, Fabian's not gonna be interested. But Rin is still nearby.
He has ult. Rin, what are you planning, you mad lad?
What?
1, 2, 3, 4! Oh my goodness, Rin! Gets a solo kill! Not a lot of value because he falls as well, but hell, was that a statement?
If I fall, you fall!
Making a 1-for-1 there. Considering the Team Liquid ID has been going for the trades, I think that's pretty good for Alter Ego to get. Avatar of the Guardian.
Looking for the taunt, unable to get it. Aran will still be able to dodge away from Nino. A turret falling. Alter Ego now with the 1,000 gold lead.
All right, man. Looking at the item differential here, the gold is actually equal, dead even for both Fabian and Rin. So Alter Ego have more to say because RP is actually ahead in gold compared to Aaron Shiki. The longer the game goes, though, again, prolonged fights is going to favor Team Liquid ID a bit more. But later on, this means that Alter Ego will have the chance to go for these macro plays because they have two very long-range. They have a long-range ultimate in the Avatar of the Guardian, and they can also let Rin split push a bit more efficiently with the maneuverability of that Finch Poise. So I think Team Liquid ID are kind of playing against the clock right here if they're really expecting Alter Ego to really go for those macro plays later on.
Yeah. And we talked about Alter Ego and their early game draft. This is a draft that really wants to get ahead. Snowball in the early game. TLID, it seems like to the late game, they can scale hard as well. For Alter Ego though, their eyes are on this Lord, and this is a must-win for them.
Oh, great flicker out from RP. Raging Sandstorm still follows him through. In the back line is going to be RP caught in the back spot, but he's still able to go for a gun down. Rin will deal damage to the back. Really traded in, and now it's going to be Aaron Shiki assassinated by Rin on the Ling. Fabian, Quad Shadow. Dreams holding the taunt in the back. Aran holds the angle. They want to try to fight for this. Nino and Dreams are low. Fabian still has the shadow kill. Aran, again, going to be walking up now onto Nino. They're going to go for the members one by one. Quad Shadow landing. The shadow will be used as well. Both the low target members will fall. Rin is going to the blade. Jumps in on the palm. Yeah, no, Quad Shadow. Rin will try to go for more to this placement over. Rin won't be able to get the kill, but he gets out with the Finch Boys.
Wow! The killer instinct is still there. He goes and defies the odds, but his focus was on the Lord. Alter Ego at least stabilized what they lost in that skirmish.
Man, Team Liquid ID don't even get the mid tower for their troubles there. It's a great move by them to still get the 2 kills from Alter Ego at the end there, but they're going to be up on the map already. The Lord right now is unprotected on the top side. Team Liquid ID are going to be able to clear it down, but they have no solution for Rin. There is no short cooldown part control tool available, and the conceal.
What?
Right past the run.
The ward. Rin, looking for the back. He will go on to Fabian. He jumps on him. Passes him to the place. Fabian goes into the quad channel all the way to the back. Really pops in Raging Sandstorm, but they're all caught under the RWM. Winnie will fall, melts it down. Fabian on the back to get to the quad shadow. Fabian will land the quad shadow and goes for the shadow kill. Gets Ijume, assassinates him, but now it's caught in the back spot with the quad shadow. Out with a big bonk to shut Rin down, and he is able to walk away from it too.
The Jonin is in the missing Nins blacklist. And time again, he assassinates Fabian. But Alter Ego, they have full control of that mid lane.
That was a good sign for Team Liquid ID, though. By all means, they really shouldn't have gotten any real big wins there. But the fact that Fabian was so good at weaving in and out, he was doing damage and dipping out immediately. And that kind of scattered the focus of Alter Ego. It was a 2-for-2 trade. Hijume and Rin for Fabian and Widdy. So technically, the role for the mid lane there is a worthwhile trade for Team Liquid ID. And they're able to deal with the Lord. Even though they had to sacrifice all of their outer turrets here, still not the worst situation. 2k gold advantage for Alter Ego, though. And Team Liquid ID, they really have to bank on Aaron here, and they have to try and plan out how they're going to keep Aaron alive later on when Rin and Dreams are going to be jumping straight at him.
We had that point where TLID, they will relinquish the Lord, the turtle, in trade for farming efficiency. But Aaron Shiki was 2k gold down in face of Arfi, who is able to get 9k gold. So this is insane. In TLID, they're looking for a Hail Mary play.
Winter Crown. And now Rin jumps in the back to the quad shadow. Fabian will jump in the turret. Rin, just like you said, has a list on Fabian. It's in the back. Nino gets an amazing displacement. Both carries, Fabian and Aaron, have been taken out.
The missing Nin goes rogue again and again. A revolt happening for Alter Ego. And of course, Rin will clear down bottom as Alter Ego will try to knock on the base of TLID.
10 seconds to go here before Fabian is back on the board. That Winter Crown really ruined plans for Team Liquid ID. 4K gold advantage. It's going to be a brute force siege attempt from Alter Ego. It might get punished, no dreams. Are taking a lot of damage, but so far both teams will be falling back. They know that the Lord is in the picture. Now Team Liquid ID have no time to even try and contest this. Alter Ego gearing up for the decisive moment to end the game.
They played smart. They play it real slow and patiently as well for Alter Ego. Now the question is, how does TLID crawl out of this hole that Alter Ego has dug under them?
They have to make a play, man. They have to catch Rin or Hijime. And with the Winter Crown and Hijime, with the Temples of Blades for Rin, it's difficult. There is no easy way for Team Liquid ID to try and get something. Because again, all of their cooldowns, especially for the